On to the issue of the voice, you heard Father Frank Brennan, others like Julian Lisa. These are people that want the voice to succeed. Should the government be open to tweaking the words here of the referendum and the amendment, like replacing the reference to executive government with ministers of the Commonwealth, as Father Frank has suggested?
It was good to hear your interview with Father Frank Brennan, and I do have had many conversations with him and certainly enjoy his expertise and thoughts in this area. But what we have to also recognise, and I think he pointed it out in his interview with you, Kieran, is that this was just the first day of the committee hearing, and it was an important day to hear the different viewpoints or different sort of nuances, if you like, in people's interpretation of the wording. And I would say this to your listeners and viewers is you've got Senator Nita Green, who is the chair of this very important inquiry. And I know that the representatives on that inquiry will do what they can to find a pathway through to report back to the Parliament, as they should, as with any parliamentary inquiry.
While there are some experts who believe that the wording is already rock solid, we've heard that from the likes of Professor George Williams and others, there are doubts among certain experts like Father Frank. The last thing you'd want, though, is for the voice to be the subject of repeated legal challenge if it does get up.
Well, again, as Father Frank rightly pointed out, this is the first opportunity for an open and transparent process on a national level. Obviously, we've had the excuse me, the First Nations working group and engagement group working on it, but now it's out to the Australian public to interrogate, if you like, the bill itself, but also the words that have been proposed in the bill. So let's take it one step at a time, I think, Kieran. It's really important that this process is followed through in a calm manner, in a respectful manner, so that we can debate it at the end of May, early June. And no doubt, throughout that debate from parliamentarians on all sides, we will get to a position, and I am very confident of this. I feel it very strongly. We've walked this road for many decades. I feel it very strongly that we will get to a point where all Australians can be proud to walk together on this.
The opposition, though, as you know, it's going all-out attack against the voice. If the Liberal leader were to appoint Senator Nampijinpa Price, she would prove quite a powerful advocate for the no case. Does that concern you?
Well, I'll just have a look at your question first. I don't believe all Liberals believe and back that viewpoint, and all Conservatives, and I do reach out to them. I was pleased to see Julian Lisa's stand earlier this week. Obviously saddened for Ken White that he had to take the stand that he did. I know how loyal he has been to the party and the work he did as a previous minister on this. So I do know that there are Liberals within the Coalition Party who want to support the voice and will do so, and I thank them for their courage in this and their support, and I would encourage them to keep going. In terms of who the next shadow minister would be, I think that was your question in regards to Senator Nampijinpa Price, Kieran. Well, clearly that's a decision for Peter Dutton and the Coalition to make, and no doubt we'll be hearing that in coming hours or coming days.
Yeah, indeed. But if she is appointed the Shadow Minister for Indigenous Australians, Indigenous woman from Alice Springs argues there needs to be more practical response on the ground. Do the Yes campaigners need to focus more? And I guess we finish where we began, on what that real world impact would be from the voice.
Yeah, look, thanks, Kieran. It is quite clear where my fellow senator from the Northern Territory stands on this, so there's no surprise, and whether she is elevated into the ministry, opposition ministry or shadow cabinet, that will clearly still be no surprise, because we know what we're getting in terms of her position with the voice. I think what I'd say to all Australians is this: be watchful of the way people conduct themselves throughout this whole campaign. We've still got a long way to go, 6 to 8 months still to go. And the message, if I may bring you back to the Uluru Statement from the Heart is a generous request, and it's one that is done with much love, much peace and hope and faith for the future.
Malarndirri McCarthy, Assistant Minister for Indigenous Australians, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kieran.